Hello everybody, how's it going? I'm here with the solo video for this edition, just me and my handsome self. But I'm here for a movie review, and for this video, we're going to be talking about Avengers: Age of Ultron. Just got back from seeing the movie tonight. This is Monday. Movie's been out since last Friday, so I try to stay away from spoilers and all that. Went into this movie, not knowing what was going to happen. I didn't really follow the making of this film all that much, so I didn't really have any, knowledge going in really of, what was going to happen, main key points. So I kind of went in as, somebody would go into a movie before the age of the internet, which was pretty nice. But anyway, we're going to talk about this movie, Avengers: Age of Ultron. And there's not going to be so many spoilers that, or so many critical spoilers that you can't watch this video if you haven't seen the movie. It's pretty much going to be safe from spoilers, this video, as much as possible. I mean, I guess little things here and there, but nothing's going to really, blow your mind away and ruin you from potentially going to see the movie or anything like that. So the second Avengers movie, I loved the first one. I thought the first one was a fantastic movie. Just great energy to it. I mean, the first time seeing this, huge number of popular superheroes on the same screen in the same movie, it was an event, it was an experience, and a very original and different and unique experience. So, of course, there was a lot of hype going into this movie. I mean, especially with everything good that Marvel's been doing, with the last Captain America movie, notably. So, I mean, Iron Man 3 kind of sucked balls. Thor 2 was kind of but the last Captain America movie was pretty damn good. So there was a lot of hype going into this second Avengers movie, and understandably so. I haven't seen every Marvel movie. I'm not like the biggest Marvel expert or nerd that it's gonna be a review like that or anything. It's not like I know every Marvel character or anything like that. So it's just somebody that has enjoyed what Marvel has done in the cinematic universe talking about it. Now, I didn't have like crazy hype for this movie. I mean, I figured it was gonna be good, but I mean, I knew that the first Avengers movie was a unique experience because it was that first go around, and I did know that there was going to be some of a drop off doing a second one, and then they're going to be doing a two-parter of a third one, which I never understand those fucking movies where it's like Avengers 3 part 1 then Avengers 3 part 2. It's like, stop trying to fucking, what does that mean? Like the Harry Potter movies, they have, Harry Potter and whatever, right? What was it, Half-Blood Prince or some shit? Harry Potter and the whatever part 1, and then it's the same title but part 2. It's like, why don't you just make that shit fucking one movie? Or I think Twilight did the same shit, like Breaking Dawn part 1 and Breaking Dawn part 2. It's just an obvious mainstream corporate, let's make as much money as we can kind of strategy, and it's all bullshit. But anyway, that's another rant for another time. But so yeah, this is the second Avengers movie, and I guess after this is phase 3 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So so let's talk about this movie. I thoroughly enjoyed it for the most part. I thought it was a good movie, a solid movie. However, I did have my gripes about it. People on Facebook were going ape shit about this, and when they watched it, they're like, oh, fucking fantastic, amazing movie, and whatever. I mean, I guess, they were waiting for this for so long, they're in fanboy mode, but I really wasn't in fanboy mode when I went to see this. I don't know why, because the first Avengers movie was so good, was so excellent. I mean, I really did love that movie. I don't know why that I wasn't in fanboy mode. I mean, I just don't feel attached like that to the Marvel movies where I go in fanboy mode when one of them comes out. I'm more, objective rather than, the big contrast would be going to see the new Star Wars movie. I will try to be objective for that, but there's no doubt about it. I'm going to be in fanboy mode. But, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. Don't get me wrong. But going into this movie, yes, I was excited, but I wasn't like, doing fucking backflips and shit all across the fucking rows in the movie theater. Um, so yeah, the movie starts off like right off the bat, action scene, but not as good of a start off as the first Avengers movie. I'll say like it's kind of like it just goes right into the action too much for me. But whatever. Let me talk about what I did like about this movie before I go into what I didn't like. Let's start off with good news first, okay? So I thought you had some great more emphasis on supporting characters here than you did with the last movie. Like Hawkeye got a lot more screen time and character development in this movie. Black Widow got some good stuff, even though she did get some good character development in the last one, but she got some good stuff here. Same with Bruce Banner. I think all the actors shined in their roles. It was pretty much business as usual with them, and they've really become one with their roles, which is great to see. They're really comfortable. When it comes to Captain America, Iron Man, Hawkeye, what have you, Thor, all these guys are very comfortable in their roles, which is great to see. This movie did have some great action, just some fantastic pieces of action throughout, some really solid directing throughout also. You had a good villain, and I'll go into how it wasn't a great villain, but you had a decent villain, so that's good. I'll talk more, it's kind of a give and take because he was a pro but also was a con. You had some good moments. You did have some funny comments and funny one-liners here. Everything you'd expect from these guys. You had easily for me, what I enjoyed most about this movie, besides some great action scenes, I did think that the last battle was pretty awesome. But for me, the takeaway from this movie, the main positive for this movie was the twins, Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch. Especially the Scarlet Witch, I thought she was the best thing in this movie. She was easily, to me, the most interesting character and the one I wanted to spend screen time with the most. Just very, very, enigmatic in this movie, and just had some real good character to her, and very interesting, and good story, and the actress who played her was fucking great. So I could have done without the fake Russian accents. I don't know why they had to be. I mean, they shouldn't have given them Russian accents because it just never works. You can never buy a non-Russian person when they try to do the fake Russian accent. Niet pizdiets. It just doesn't fucking work. So it did kind of get hokey at times when Quicksilver was starting to talk like this, like just so fucking stereotypical. But for the most part, they were the show stealers and the movie stealers. Notably, Scarlet Witch. Just enjoyed everything about her. I mean, her superpower, I guess, of telekinesis was awesome, and then her, creating these fake visions into people's minds. It was just fucking awesome. Kind of reminded me of the X-Men Days of Future Past, like, Kitty Pryde, bringing people back to the past and doing, telekinesis type of stuff like that. Kind of put me more in the X-Men zone rather than the Avengers movie Marvel zone, which is two different universes. But that's awesome, because it kind of gave a different, aspect to the movie. The visions part were fucking fantastic. I liked them a lot. The whole, makes Tony Stark, see a possibility of all his friends dying because of him. And, she does this to each Avenger. Like, they see their deepest, darkest fears coming to life, but it's not just fears. It's possible of what could fucking happen. And done with great direction. Just a very different style to everything else that the movie was happening. Just more artistic, more deep, just very well done. And if you saw the movie, you know what I'm talking about. Obviously, if you didn't see the movie and you go see it, you'll see what I'm talking about. But these trances that she puts them in and the scenes that ensue because of that were huge highlights. Also, the Vision himself, So basically, I guess this is like a little spoiler alert or whatever, but not huge or anything. But Ultron tries to put his, technology and computer brain into a human body, and it becomes, a superhero called the Vision, and it's actually a legit publicated superhero. It's not that they just made it for the movie, and I thought the Vision was pretty fucking awesome. Kind of like threw me off at first. It just was like super weird and like just felt kind of like what the fuck is going on kind of vibe. But then it really started to gel together, and he started to be fucking awesome and badass and pretty fucking cool. So I would say easily the top fucking marks for this movie would be the Vision character and Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, and just great action, great acting from the main cast for the most part. Let me talk about what I didn't like about this movie. I didn't really find that the story itself, the screenplay, the plot, all that invigorating or enthralling or captivating as I did other great Marvel movies. So let me just give a layout of the way this movie goes. A little plot synopsis. It starts off with all the Avengers going to this place in Russia or something where Hydra is, and they have Loki's a scepter there. They're doing experiments on it, and so Avengers and company take the scepter, and Tony Stark, they're supposed to give it to Thor to bring back to Asgard to get it out of Earth, but Tony Stark realizes that there's this computer technology that's like a million times more knowledgeable and amazing than Jarvis, and just more vast. So he decides to use this computer technology to for his Ultron initiative, which is this computer that will protect the world from all the fucking aliens in the first movie and any of that otherworldly shit. So basically, it's kind of like that Dr. Frankenstein type of, plot that we've seen since Frankenstein the movie or Frankenstein the book, of playing God and it coming back to bite you in the ass. So you can just guess, Tony Stark creates Ultron to save the world, but what happens? Ultron, rebels against his father or his creator, becomes a sentient being and becomes a little too knowledgeable for his own good and a little too powerful for his own good, and decides that he wants to not save the world but destroy the world. And the only way to save the world is by destroying all human life. He believes that the next step for humans is evolution, and the only way to do that is to create a catastrophic disaster that eliminates all the weak humans. So there you go. And in doing this, he enlists the Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver because they have a thing against Tony Stark that's talked about in the movie. So basically, that's the foundation for your plot, pretty much. Ultron tries to transfer his mind and being into a human body. That's how you get the Vision. He tries to do that by against the scientist who has all this great technology to do it. And once Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch see what he really is doing, they turn against him and join the Avengers. So yeah, there's some little spoilers, whatever. I don't fucking care. So yeah, and basically you have that, and that sets the stage for the whole fucking battle against Ultron. So yeah, I just thought it could have been a much more epic way that this plot was dealt out, because I mean, it's not like it's such a bad idea or plot. It just kind of didn't really click all the time. I thought they could have built this up more. Like, let me just talk about Ultron first. I guess let's talk about the main villain first. I just feel like the first minute they introduced the mentioned Ultron, the first mentioning of Ultron, all of a sudden he was this villain. You know, it's not like he was this. It wasn't like All right, I'm gonna give an example. If anybody's seen this 2001: A Space Odyssey, if you've seen it, you have HAL 9000, a computer, pretty much the same thing as Ultron. You know, this computer, that an artificial intelligence, very fucking smart. And, you know, at first, you know, he's just kind of there, you know, not non-threatening. He's just a computer, just an artificial intelligence. But as the movie goes on, he becomes crazier and crazier and starts to become more and more of a threat and more unstable. Here, that it was like that nice build up to it. Here, it was, okay, Ultron is a thing, and Ultron is all of a sudden fucking evil. There was no build up to it. You know, there was nothing to get you into it, you know, to invest in this whole, you know, computer technology, artificial intelligence. It's like, oh, Ultron is created, oh, Ultron is all of a sudden fucking evil. Like, the first scene Ultron has, he just fucking pretty much destroys Jarvis. So, you know, I thought they could have built it up a lot better. And Ultron himself, having a CGI, like, robot as the main villain, I guess it could work, but for me it didn't. For me, this movie was severely missing Loki. Loki was just fucking amazing. He was easily, probably the movie stealer of the first Avengers movie, the show stealer, the scene stealer. He was fucking awesome in that role. Tom Hiddleston, whatever the fuck his name is, was fucking awesome as Loki, and just added some great fucking, comedy and, darkness and just wit to the movie, and just, he was a great fucking villain. Loki just made that movie fucking great, the magnificent piece of work that it is. And Ultron just did not have that effect. Watching a CGI computer robot just didn't have the same effect as a real life actor. And he just didn't have the same, gravitas or, depth that Loki had as a villain, as a character. That was a great fucking villain. And, I think this movie was just severely missing that. And, for the whole thing of, because they say that Ultron is, the most powerful computer in the world, and it's just like this amazing artificial intelligence, and they could do all this crazy fucking shit, and then they say that it's more powerful than each one of the Avengers, or maybe all of them all together. Yet there was never one moment of threat where I feel like a character was in serious danger of dying. An Avenger was in serious danger of dying. I never felt like Ultron was really close to, dismantling the Avengers and really killing off a character. I never felt that threat that they were talking about. If this, Ultron was so powerful that it could be as powerful as all the Avengers combined, then why wasn't any of them ever in, a situation where they were like in danger of seriously dying? Yes, you do have, I don't want to spoil it, you do have something or somebody that does die, but I never felt like it was a huge threat as they were making out to be. Even with like fucking 100, 200 Ultron robots coming at them, it was never as convincing as they made it sound like. I never felt like, damn, fucking Tony Stark and Captain America and Hulk have no fucking shot against this guy. I never felt that obstacle, that, that danger. And also, the first movie was just so energetic and so exciting and just oozed excitement and, just uniqueness and just fun. It was such a fun movie to watch, and I just don't think that this movie had the qualities and abundance like the first movie did. This movie just didn't have the pizzazz and the ooze and the ahs of the first go around, and that's just the problem of a sequel, is that, especially with this, what made that first movie, like I said earlier, so great was this. It was the first movie. It was the first time we saw all these characters together on the same screen doing the same thing. And for the second go around, you're gonna have a drop off. And yes, you could have a very successful movie, but I just feel like this movie came up short in excitement and in dazzlement and all that stuff. It just didn't. The action just didn't leak over from the screen into your heart, into your eyes like the first movie did. Like, I remember watching the first movie in the movie theaters, and 2.5 hours went by like that. And that last battle where the camera's panning from superhero to superhero to superhero was like fucking awesome, just fucking amazing. And this movie didn't really have that positive energy, that upbeat, something's always happening, like every fucking scene, all cylinders are firing. It just didn't have that. There were more slower moments, more, kind of laboring moments, kind of, take it down a notch. And there's nothing wrong with that, but it just kind of, this Avengers doesn't need that. That's not what the Avengers needs, So you had that, and also, like, I will say, also the first movie I left at more, like, it had more funny comments, more funny repartee between the characters, more funny one-liners. Yeah, this had some funny moments, but I felt like a lot of them did fall flat. A lot of them did try too hard for those funny moments, and it just wasn't as fun to watch as the first movie. Not saying this movie was a bad movie by any means. It was not a bad movie. It was a good, solid Marvel movie. But that first movie was just such a unique viewing experience. Like, you couldn't expect this to be as good as that. And it just didn't lack that fun and excitement and uniqueness and that awe-inspiring, moments that the first movie had. But there you go. That's my review of it. So I gave you the stuff that I like, the stuff that I don't like. I thought the villain could have been a lot better. Missed Loki. Missed just a lot of that excitement. Yes, this movie had some exciting moments, but not from scene to scene to scene every second. And I also the love story between Black Widow and the Hulk just felt so forced, so force-fed, because before this movie I don't really remember like Hulk and Black Widow really sharing something. All of a sudden they're like going into this flirty type of relationship, and they try to form a relationship and stuff, and it just felt like that forced strategy of, let's make two of the main characters fall in love because it's a sequel, so we have to do that. And yeah, there were cute moments, but it just felt like, what? This fucking came out of nowhere. So it didn't really feel like it was built upon. So there you go. But I did, like I said, I did like a lot of the action. The acting was good for the most part. It did have a big movie feel to it, and Scarlet Witch easily takes the fucking cake and takes the whole movie from me. I thought she was awesome. So yeah, I do recommend seeing it, of course, but don't expect it to be as good of a viewing experience as the first movie was, but take it for what it is. Have fun with it. I give this movie a 7.5 out of 10. So there you go. Good, solid movie. Not great, not amazing, but good, solid fun. Alright, so let me know what you thought about the movie, if you loved it, if you hated it, if you enjoyed it like I did, but, thought the first movie was better, because it was. If you like this movie more, then you're an idiot. No, I'm just kidding. You can have your own opinion. But anyway, there you go. 7.5 out of 10. Do recommend going and see it. Avengers Age of Ultron. Okay, everybody. I'll be back for a video on Wednesday with my girlfriend. We'll think of something to do. Take care. Goodbye.